Okay, next DIY, I'm going to do something kind of crazy, but kind of fun. So I'm going to use a Dollar Tree wood round, and I'm going to use a paper cutout of a watermelon from Dollar Tree. And I wanted to try to make a watermelon sunset over the ocean. So, what I want to do is use the watermelon as the sun, like melting into the ocean, and just kind of make some wall art with it. Really outside the box, but I thought it would be really fun to try to do. So, that's kind of what I'm thinking. See how the watermelon is going to kind of act as our sun. So we're going to have to make this wood round look, kind of like the ocean. I'm going to do like a really kind of abstract ocean scene. So what I do is this is Cloudless, a really light blue apple barrel paint that I get at Walmart. And I just paint the top part of the sign with that. And then I can go in and paint the bottom part with Caribbean blue. It's a little bit darker color of blue, but very similar. And I want my horizon to be, about like halfway up the wood round or so. And I am going to paint it a little bit to make it look like, different shades of blue in the ocean, but still very soft, very abstract. So I used that Cloudless color that I used on top and a chunky brush and just kind of distressed my ocean part. And what I want to do is make it look like the watermelon is melting down into the ocean, and you're going to be able to see the reflection of the watermelon in the ocean is what I want to do. And then I think this is turquoise color too. I'm going in and kind of distressing with that too, kind of all over just to bring in like another shade of blue. And this was that Caribbean blue color. I was trying to make a like kind of a darker horizon line right here. I didn't really have a dark enough blue though, so I'm going to add a dot of brown to my Caribbean blue and try to make a darker shade of blue just because I wanted kind of a little bit of a shadow to form my horizon line in my ocean. And I don't know, I don't think you could really see it in the end. And so I end up kind of using something else for that, but that's where I'm at so far with my ocean. So here is my sun or my watermelon. And it's just a paper cutout from the summer section at Dollar Tree. So I put a layer of Mod Podge on here and then just kind of sit that down. It's not going to cover the hanger or anything like that. So that's good. And just kind of have it match up with the horizon line that we did for the ocean. Now that I have that on there, I'm going to go I was trying to get that horizon line a little bit too. I'm using that same Cloudless color because I don't think I got it like directly where I wanted it there, just to kind of touch that up a little bit. And now we can start working on the watermelon reflection. Now, this part was kind of experimental and it took me a lot of attempts to try to get it exactly the way I wanted it. But I wanted like red first, right? So I'm using that like fire red color and a chunky brush from Dollar Tree and just distressing a red. And then this color of acrylic is watermelon. And that is going to be my next color in the reflection. And as you can see, as we're getting farther away from the sun, we're going to make them skinnier. And I decided to mix a little orange with that watermelon to kind of give me a kind of a transition-y color from the red into like some lighter colors. And then I did white, and then I did that leaf green color for the very end, kind of like I would think the reflection would look like in the sunset in the ocean. Now, once I get it on there, I kind of play around with it a little bit. This is that same existing like Caribbean blue color. I go back and distress it slightly, kind of make it look a little bit more subtle. I'm also going to go ahead and distress my watermelon with that same blue color, just to kind of give it a little bit more character. And then with this, like the reflection in the ocean, I'm going to kind of work with mine until I'm super happy with it. Wanted a little yellow in it too. So I'm just using a tiny brush and just kind of distressing lightly all over. Just kind of that sun vibe that you would have if this were a sunset, but it's going to be a watermelon sunset, right? And I just kind of kept playing with it until I was happy with it. I decided I wanted a little bit more red. So I used that fire red color and I kind of like make it heavier. So I kind of go down like that, going back and distressing it with like my original blue color until I'm happy with it. I got like it on there at first and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think this worked. And then I just kind of kept playing with it here, going back and distressing it with some blue if I thought I had it too colorful. And I did it until I was happy with it. I'm glad I stuck with it because my family loves it. They think it's so cute. So I'm sealing the whole thing down with just a coat of Mod Podge. It's going to help seal down that paper watermelon, kind of give everything like the same kind of matte finish. And this is what I was talking about for the horizon. I thought I would just go in. I have some of this like cotton twine from Dollar Tree from the little shelves that I use all the time for signs. And so I'm just going to cut off some twine for the horizon just because I felt like I needed a little bit more of a physical border back here. And it's going to, this is going to be kind of a coastal watermelon project anyway. And it's going to kind of add to that coastal feel. I do plan to frame it out with Dollar Tree white rope as well because it's a thin sign from the Dollar Tree and they're not like the flattest signs in the world. And whenever I frame them out with rope, I always think they look better because it's going to make them look chunkier and stuff like that too. Now, before I do that though, I'm going to go ahead and use that same twine to make a hanger. I'm going to string that in through the back. And the best way I've found to do that is put a little hot glue on the end of it. It makes it like firm enough to go through there. But sometimes it still kind of gets stuck. I just use some pliers there to pull that one through. And I'm just going to knot that in the front. And we have a little hanger for our little watermelon sunset. You guys will have to let me know what you think about the final project. This one was definitely an experiment project, but I'm glad I made it. I think it was really fun. So once I have that twine on there, I'm going to go ahead and frame this out with rope. This is just a spare piece of rope I had. I think this is a thinner one, like the 11-foot white nautical rope from Dollar Tree. And I just want to attach it all the way around. I think it's going to give it a nice coastal vibe. So I'm going to start at the bottom and just hot glue this to the edge. Try to keep it as tight as I can. I don't want any gaps. And I want this to kind of, these signs, I don't know. I bought a whole case of these signs from DollarTree.com. And I don't know if it's because I'm storing them. I'm storing them indoors, but, I'm in Florida. We have lots of humidity, but they are warped. And I don't remember them being warped when I got them. I don't know. So maybe you shouldn't buy these by the case. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to find these in stores. And they are kind of hit or miss. If you saw my community post, you saw that I was just at one of our Dollar Trees just turned to a Dollar Tree Plus the other day for the first time. And then one of my viewers was telling me that it's not the only one. More than one has switched. I have to admit I wasn't impressed. Like I didn't buy anything from the Dollar Tree Plus section. I noticed it was just like Five Below. The items were like the same kind of items that Five Below would have, and they were about the same prices. Nothing really craft-wise that I could find, no. So as you can see, I'm still kind of messing with my like reflection. I did go in and distress it with a little bit more blue. Just to kind of break it up, make it a little bit more subtle. And then I decided that it'd be kind of fun to outline the watermelon sun with that same twine that we used for the hanger and for the horizon. And I thought that would kind of help hide the fact that that was like a piece of cardboard on the sign. And kind of frame that out a little bit. So I just use my fine tip Surebonder hot glue gun to go around that because it's kind of a thin piece of rope and it's kind of hard to do a thin enough bead with my Ryobi glue gun. And that is it. I think I'm finally happy with my little watermelon sunset. It was definitely kind of an experiment. It took me out of my comfort zone a little bit, but I think it's really fun. I think it's a fun idea and something cute and whimsical you can make for your home for summer. Little watermelon sunset.